There's news that needs reporting, the kind that impacts us here and all across Central Florida. Michelle Imparato, Stuart Moore, First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. Local, live, late-breaking coverage. Weekdays at 5 on WESH 2 News.
Now on WESH 2 News at 5, a Brevard County woman is accused of manslaughter. What she told the court today about her infant son's death.
And Universal Orlando easing its COVID-19 restrictions. The change announced today for vaccinated employees.
And the honor of getting a Purple Heart isn't just for people. Meet the canines honored today for their service.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
A Brevard County woman told police her 9-month-old son fell over, hit his head, and that's why he was no longer breathing.
But as an autopsy report unveils, it says that the cause of death was battered baby syndrome. And as WESH 2's Michelle Meredith reports, the mother of the baby is now behind bars. And tonight, we're also learning more about that tragic shooting in Osceola County that left 3 people dead. The person of interest was taken into custody just yesterday, and they're now a suspect in that case. WESH 2's Michelle Imparato is live in studio with more on the charges that he's now facing. Michelle?
Well, Kevin Torres is facing 18 criminal charges, including murder, kidnapping, and child abuse. And the sheriff says that this is far from his first run-in with the law. Today, the sheriff's office named the 3 people who were killed: Justin Atkinson, his 16-year-old son Calvin, and their friend Anthony Moe. Court documents say Torres mutilated one of the bodies, held a couple of girls inside the apartment at gunpoint, and forced them to give him the valuables inside the home. And then they say he stole someone else's SUV. He took off but was eventually arrested by a SWAT team in Orange County. The sheriff says that Torres has a lengthy criminal history, that he's been arrested nearly 50 times and convicted of 7 felonies. He also has a long history of mental health issues, but the sheriff says that should not be a factor here.
The evidence in this case, and based on his statements, it wasn't a mental health issue. It was actually some solid, he thought this out before he did it, actually just going over there and say, hey, these guys are going to be pissed because I shot him. He went over and killed him. So it doesn't have nothing to do with mental illness, but he does have a history of it.
The sheriff says that Torres gave a full confession after he was arrested. He is now behind bars without bond. Back to you, Jim.
A former Orange County commissioner has admitted to allegations in an ethics complaint. District 1 Commissioner Betsy Vanderlei lost her re-election bid last year. WESH 2 Investigates brought you stories explaining how at least one of her votes in May 2020 might have benefited her business or some of her business associates. The Florida Commission on Ethics tells us Vanderlei has accepted a fine of $1,000, which will be finalized next month. Florida is in need of more correctional officers, and the state is offering a bonus for new hires. Governor Ron DeSantis announced today new hires will get bonuses starting at $3,000. They can get an additional $1,000 if they join high-vacancy institutions. Certified correctional officer applicants get another $1,000. The Orange County Sheriff's Office is also recruiting. There's a hiring event going on tomorrow afternoon. It's at Full Sail Live in Witter Park. Recruiters from the County Corrections Department, Fire Rescue, and Government will also be there.
And there once was a time when the family doctor actually made house calls. Well, over in Sanford, the fire department's kicked off a paramedicine program which provides house calls for people needing non-emergency care. WESH 2's Dave McDaniel takes a closer look at how that program actually works.
AAA expects more than 53 million Americans will travel next week. That's a 13% increase from 2020. Airports predict Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving will be the busiest travel days. Universal Orlando has dropped its mask requirement for vaccinated employees. Universal previously required employees to wear masks indoors in public areas, regardless of vaccination status. Unvaccinated employees are still required to wear face coverings. Universal does not require employees to be vaccinated, but the company started requiring them to disclose their vaccination status back in August.
And the Conservative Political Action Conference is going to return to Orlando next year. The American Conservative Union puts on that conference for Republican activists and elected officials. The conference is set for February 24th to the 27th.
She is best known for her downtown Sanford restaurant and her passion for her motorcycle. Now Chantel Williams is making a difficult choice. To save her restaurant, which is still struggling due to rising food costs and pandemic-related problems, she's raffling off the motorcycle she took on a well-publicized cross-country journey. She hopes to sell 3,000 raffle tickets at $25 each to save her restaurant. She says ticket sales have started slowly, but she did get some encouragement from a weekend visitor.
I did get someone come in and said, you know, hey, I don't want your bike, and hey, here's $1,000. And of course, I teared up.
She says she had to choose the restaurant over the motorcycle because her 17 employees depend on the restaurant's survival.
And moving forward,
a 14-year-old girl accused of shooting at local deputies is back in court, found competent to stand trial, while her attorney hopes it doesn't get that far.
plus a new warning for the holiday season about ransomware, the key times that hackers are more likely to strike.
But first, a pair of canine deputies get a big honor in Volusia County today for their hard work protecting the community.
And outside today was absolutely fantastic. Many of us jumping back up into the 80s, but changes are on the horizon. That story straight ahead.
Closed captioning is sponsored by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
Tonight at 11, Central Florida's first responders pushing for line-of-duty benefits to include COVID-19.
We don't really know from one employer to the next what's going to happen.
WESH 2 explores the fight to make this happen in Florida.
I think the workers' comp law is failing us on a grand scale.
Even though many first responders remain unvaccinated.
You're going to tell me what I'm going to put in my body.
They're taking our freedom of choice away, and it's just not right.
Tonight at 11, only on WESH 2 News.
Purple Hearts are not just for people, they are for others, including animals that go above and beyond to get wounded or worse. Today, 2 Volusia County canine officers were awarded Purple Hearts.
And very deserving, the canines were shot and wounded in the line of duty back in September. WESH 2's Claire Metz has the story. All right, very deserving animals there. Well, the International Olympic Committee revealed new guidelines for transgender and intersex athletes. The IOC has now dropped policies requiring athletes to undergo hormone-level modifications to compete. The committee wants to ensure everyone, regardless of gender identity, can compete in a safe environment. The LGBTQ advocates welcomed the new guidelines, but also stressed following them is absolutely necessary. Pop star Harry Styles has now launched a gender-neutral beauty brand called Pleasing. Now, it currently has 6 products, 4 nail polishes, a lip and eye serum, and a facial serum. Now, they're both vegan and cruelty-free. The products are available for pre-order online and are going to ship at the end of November. The prices can range anywhere from $20 to $75. Styles is known for his gender-fluid appearance and his love for nail polish.
A reminder to take a look at the night sky later this week. NASA says we'll be able to spot the longest partial lunar eclipse in nearly 600 years. The partial eclipse will last about 3.5 hours, but to watch it near the East Coast, we'll have to stay up late or wake up early. The eclipse will begin a little after 2 a.m. on Friday morning. The moon will actually change color. It's pretty cool to see. The peak of the eclipse will hit around 4 a.m.
Do you capture those quite often? Do you like to go outside and see those?
Yeah, you know, the space station goes over every now and then. I lead the whole station outside. We do a little talk through the launches, eclipses. Doesn't matter.
See, this is all new to me. I'm learning about it.
Okay, well, I'm enjoying them. You're officially invited to our next event.
I'm there. I love it.
There you go. How about it, Tony?
You know, look, she knocked off the launch about a week ago, right? So why not bring on another attempt, a new adventure, right? The problem, though, Friday night, we may have a lot of clouds around. We'll keep you posted on that. Tower Cam Network, you can see 78 degrees. The wind is out of the east at about 14 miles an hour from about a week ago. Now, the weekend forecast for the Florida Classic, increase in clouds, a couple of showers around for kickoff around 3:30. Temperatures will be in the 70s. And then at the Bounce House, the Huskies are taking on the Knights. A few showers around, going from 76 at 2 for the Tailgaters to 73 by the time we kick it off. All right, let's take a look at that updated 7-day forecast. Maybe a thunder shower across southern Osceola, Polk, and Brevard County on Thursday. And then as we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, spotty periods of rain from time to time. Temperatures holding steady in the upper 70s to around 80. A much, much stronger cold front will arrive Monday night and Tuesday, lending way to a great travel day Wednesday, pre-Thanksgiving. We'll talk more about that coming up, guys, when I see you in the next half hour.
Definitely going to feel like it. How about that?
Oh, my goodness. All that beautiful weather we had now just gone.
Yeah, it's the way it is here. Just like that. Still ahead, the special reunion between a girl and her 40-year-old teddy bear.
Plus, the health effects of smoking cigarettes. A new study finds that there's a bigger killer than lung cancer.
And McDonald's is celebrating 50 years of the Egg McMuffin with a special discount. You'll pay what people did back in 1971, but there's a catch. We're following some big-time traffic trouble on I-4 in Seminole County right now. This is eastbound traffic heading up towards State Road 46. There's actually a big problem on 46, and we think that is what is causing this backup in the eastbound lanes. It stretches back about a mile to a mile and a half, so if you're heading from Seminole into Volusia County, this is one spot that you want to avoid right now.
Definitely find a different route. All right, let's talk about what's going on with Starbucks. They are celebrating the return of the holiday season with limited edition reusable cups. Take a look at this. Starting tomorrow, you can get one of these free plastic cups if you order a holiday drink from Starbucks. And if you bring the cup back for future orders, you can actually get a 10-cent discount. The cups are made with 50% recycled materials in honor of Starbucks' 50th anniversary. Hey, free is always good.
Yeah. 10 cents? May not go out of my way. McDonald's is also celebrating a special anniversary. Tomorrow marks 50 years since the Egg McMuffin was put on the menu. For tomorrow only, McDonald's is changing the price of the classic breakfast item to its original price. Back in '71, the Egg McMuffin cost 63 cents. You do have to order from the McDonald's app to take advantage of this discount. A precious family heirloom has finally been returned.
That's right. Charlie is a 40-year-old teddy bear that's been passed down from generation to generation. Well, he currently belongs to a little girl named Mavis who accidentally left him at a public library in Kentucky.
I picked him up, and when I looked at him, I thought, oh, he's a well-loved bear. And I gave him a hug, and I thought, somebody's going to be missing him. So the next day, came in, asked Rachel, I said, could you take a picture of him and put him on social media, and maybe we can find the family.
Well, Mavis and Charlie were reunited just yesterday. Mavis's grandmother first bought the teddy bear for herself. The stuffed animal was passed down to Mavis's father, who then gave it to his daughter. Pretty cool that it stayed in the family for that long.
WESH 2 traffic is driven by Toyota Orlando and Toyota Claremont.
WESH 2 News continues.
A judge has determined a 14-year-old girl accused of shooting at Volusia County Sheriff's deputies is competent to move forward with the case.
And as WESH 2's Claire Metz explains, Nicole Jackson is going to be tried as an adult for the attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. And today marks 10 years since Orange County mother Michelle Parker disappeared. Parker was last seen alive back in 2011 after dropping off 2 of her children at her ex-fiance's house. Now, the same day that she disappeared, she and the ex-fiance appeared on a taped episode of People's Court where they argued over a lost engagement ring. Now, the ex was quickly named a person of interest, but now 10 years later, the detectives say that they're taking a fresh look at this case. Michelle's family hopes it'll lead to answers.
People have situations that through time change. In the beginning, you may have felt uncomfortable about giving some information that you might have known, any little tidbit, something that seemed out of place. Please give the information.
Now, anyone with information on Michelle Parker's case is asked to call Orlando Police or Crime Line.
The man who fired the shotgun that killed Ahmaud Arbery is testifying in his own defense. The defense started presenting its case today. Travis McMichael, his father, and a neighbor chased Arbery down and shot him in February of last year. They say they believe he was a burglar and they shot him in self-defense. Arbery's family says he was out jogging. On the stand, Travis McMichael described the moment they first confronted Arbery.
Ask him again or ask him again, hey, will you stop for a second? He stops, or actually just turns and starts jogging back in a jog backward, or going back up towards Burford and Satilla.
All right. So he starts to come back this way.
Yes.
Right. Does he speak to you?
He did not speak to me.
Does he say what? What do you want?
Yeah, he's never.
Or leave me alone or anything?
Nothing.
All right. So he starts to run back this direction. What do?
I back up Okay. Put the truck in reverse and match up with him again.
All right.
As I come up to him, I'll start to ask him, hey, what's going on? What's going on? He turns and runs.
Moments later, cell phone video shows there's a fight over McMichael's shotgun, and Arbery is shot and killed. Testimony is still underway at this hour.
And one of the most notorious Capitol rioters has now been sentenced to more than 3 years behind bars. The so-called QAnon shaman, Jacob Chansley, was seen shirtless, wearing horns and carrying an American flagpole on a speared pole. Now, he yelled from a blowhorn inside of the Senate chamber. Chansley pleaded guilty to obstructing Congress. The Justice Department had been pushing for a 4-year prison sentence. And there's a new lawsuit tied to the Surfside condo building collapse. Now, it claims excavation and other work was done to a building next door several years ago. It had been weakened, that building. The developers deny any wrongdoing. This is just one of several lawsuits that have been filed after the collapse on behalf of the victims and their families. 98 people died when that building came tumbling down back in June.
More Americans may soon be eligible to get a Pfizer booster shot. WESH 2's Bree Jackson explains what needs to happen before the FDA makes it official. Roughly 80% of people 12 and older have received at least one dose of COVID vaccine. That's from the CDC. Planning on going to Mardi Gras in New Orleans next year? You'll have to show proof of vaccination or a negative PCR COVID test. The rule was implemented in August and will stay in place throughout carnival season, which culminates with Fat Tuesday on March 1st. Right now, COVID-19 is seeing record lows. The city is averaging about 25 new cases daily.
And a well-known Cuban protest leader has now escaped to Spain. On Facebook, Junior Garcia says that he and his wife are alive and well with their ideas still intact. Now, he attempted to march alone in Cuba on Sunday, but as you can see from this video, police and Cuban government supporters prevented him from actually leaving his apartment. The government has accused the United States of financing Garcia in an attempt to destabilize the country. The protesters are calling for more freedoms in communist Cuba.
Still ahead, we'll show you the valuable selfie that broke records at an auction.
And 'tis the season for holiday shopping and those possible cyber attacks. The warning from experts when we return.
All right, guys, I tell you what, we take a look at the satellite radar. Moisture to the south and a storm system up to our northwest will come together and bring us some rain over the next couple days. That story straight ahead. Plus, Jim and I and Luana are going to take a selfie. We'll post it on Instagram for you in just a couple minutes.
The closing bell on WESH 2 is sponsored by Todd Minor Law.
Celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. Now through December 12th, visit this masterful work of art on display at the Daytona Beach News Journal Center. Free tickets are available at mmbstatue.org. WESH 2 is a proud sponsor of this exhibit.
6 weeks of holidays, vacations, and spending time with family and friends are coming up fast, but so too are hackers.
Yeah, not so cool. Chief National Investigative Correspondent Mark Albert learned of a new warning about ransomware all of us need to learn about. Take a look. And here's something you never hear from Apple. Users will soon be able to actually complete their own repairs. That's right. The tech company announced self-service repair today. It's going to be the first available for iPhone 12 and 13 users, followed by Mac computer users. And the self-service repair is going to be available early next year. The customers will first need to review the repair manual that comes with that feature.
One of the last portraits by Frida Kahlo broke records Tuesday. WESH News first told you about this self-portrait before it went on the auction block at Sotheby's last night. The 1949 portrait sold for $34.9 million. It is the highest price ever paid for Latin American art. A real estate developer and philanthropist purchased the painting.
That is so cool. All right, what's going on weather-wise? I'll tell you what's happening out there. Things are changing right when my mom comes in for the holidays.
Yeah, it's always that way. You get into a really nice pattern, Tony, it settles in for a couple of days, and then boom, it's gone.
Well, look, at least it's warm, and I'm not in trouble now. Now, I may get in trouble the next couple of days because we have some changes coming, but you know what? There's so much to do here in Central Florida. She's not even going to notice the weather because I know there's so much planned for her this week. Last but not least, the tropics are quiet. We take a look at that 2001 hurricane season. 13 days left in the season. That is fantastic news. We've had a busy one for sure. All right. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, temperatures right around 80. There's that big drop off for Tuesday and Wednesday. We're fine-tuning that Thanksgiving forecast, and I will show it to you coming up at 6.
All right, Tony, not too bad. Not too bad out there. All right. Well, coming up next, a Netflix series that was super popular during the start of the pandemic is back with a season 2, the series that's now streaming.
Yeah, super weird. COVID-19 is the leading cause of death for first responders in 2021. So why are so many hesitant to get the vaccine?
You're going to tell me what I'm going to put in my body. That's my choice.
We take care of our bodies, and now we're having somebody else telling us what's good for our health.
But should unvaccinated first responders who die from COVID get life-of-duty benefits? Who's fighting to make it happen in Florida? That's new tonight at 11. The second season of Tiger King is now streaming for your viewing pleasure.
That's right. That show was one of the most successful Netflix shows at the start of the lockdown back in 2020. Joe Exotic is now in prison and appealing his 22-year sentence for hiring someone to kill rival zoo owner Carol Baskin. Season 2, however, doesn't just focus on Joe. Others who became famous after the first season, from Joe's husband to Jeff Lowe, who took over the zoo, will have roles as well. Well, tonight we are getting a behind-the-scenes look at some of the new floats in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And among those floats, you're going to recognize this one. This is Magic Meets the Sea by Disney Cruise Line. Another is the Birds of a Feather Stream Together by Peacock NBC streaming service, and Celebration Gator by the Louisiana Office of Tourism. And remember that you can watch the 95th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade right here on WESH 2 next Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. You just can never miss the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
It's coming right up. It's this like the holidays are sneaking up on us this time around.
I know it. All right, well, WESH 2 News at 6 is straight ahead.
Michelle Imparato joins us now with what's coming up in our next half hour.
Guys, we're continuing our years-long investigation into Central Florida's housing crisis. Tonight, we dig into why rent is skyrocketing across the area. Plus, she's been helping people in Sanford get their soul food fix for nearly 10 years, and she's given back in times of need. Now, one restaurant owner needs help in return. How you can make a difference. Plus, we have brand new details in the triple homicide in Osceola County that led to a massive standoff yesterday. What we learned about the victims and the suspect in custody. Next at 6.